This is the Singularity Syndicate podcast. I'm Naja Faysal. Joining me today, all the way from the Netherlands, Patrick van Burgel and Gerben van Dijk. Patrick is the first person I met who actually made over $15,000 purely from ChatGPT. And Gerben is a content creator using ChatGPT to bridge language and culture. And now, here's Patrick van Burgel and Gerben van Dijk. This is so exciting. Welcome to both of you. Let me start with you, Patrick. Tell us more about your background and what was your initial reaction when ChatGPT was released?
I was really excited. I'm an ICT consultant for 25 years. And when I first saw ChatGPT and work with it, I was like, wow, this is really a next big phase in ICT. So it will change a lot, I think. And also my colleagues I work with, they agree. Yeah.
What was the first prompt you gave it? Like, how did you start testing it?
Yes. I have a lot of friends, and I like to keep them happy. So what I did was I sent them poems. For example, I had a construction builder. He's my friend, but he constructed my house also. And I sent him a poem, and he was like, "Wow, that you did this for me, you know." And I've got a few other friends, and I sent them, and I've got a really great response. So I was like, "Wow, it can make friendships better." Later on, I had to tell them, of course, it was ChatGPT, and they were a little bit less positive, like, "Oh, you didn't do it yourself." But this was really my first pair of prompts, I would say. Yeah.
That's exciting. What about you, Gerben? What was your initial reaction?
Oh, I can tell you. My work as a content creator, I was really amazed because on LinkedIn I saw a lot of people, especially online marketeers, who just have great examples of how they do the media planning, or how they just made text in different ways, just by using the style in ChatGPT to make it more light or more heavy or more formal or informal, and it was great. And also, I sent somebody a story about how to keep his marriage good, and I made a comparison with good design. And it was really funny that two worlds came together. Like in the design world, you have clever design, and they were all the design things came all back in the story about how to keep a marriage good. I cannot reproduce it very well, but it was really amazing that words in design were used in marriage. So it gave very much new possibilities, and also it gave possibilities to enhance content, to make it more easy to read or make it more structured. I think it was amazing that normally you should ask somebody else to structure your text, or ask somebody else to refine it somehow. And now suddenly a program can do that. I think that's amazing. Yeah.
I have a question for both of you. Does ChatGPT perform well in Dutch language compared to English? Is this the same level, or you feel that the English is still better?
I think the English is better, but for I'm focusing on the Dutch language because there are a lot of people already focusing on the English language at your side in the US, for example. So yeah, I'm focusing on the Dutch language, but it's amazing also. Yeah, what you will notice is that that the ChatGPT is trained on American data. So sometimes it's a little different than how we would respond to things, but not the language. The language is great. Yeah, it's flawless. Yeah.
Yeah, when you put in a text before what you have a plugin, ask my PDF, and if the PDF is even Dutch, you can also say, oh, please do the output in English, and it doesn't matter. So when the input is Dutch or English, it doesn't matter what you ask. So it understands all languages as a whole, and I think it's really good level because I always do text correction. I just put in my text and I say, please don't change my text, but correct it, make it more, or make suggestions to me. For better suggestions, and then it's really taking out the mistakes on a really micro, how do you say that? On a very small, tiny things like words should be separated or not. And I think it's perfect. I really think it's a fluent Dutch speaker also.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Patrick, I think a lot of people will be very curious to know how the hell did you make $15,000 using ChatGPT? So tell us the whole story.
Yes. Yeah. So I was very excited about ChatGPT, and I was walking around in my village here, and then I was walking by the bridge here, and one woman came to me, and I'm also a hobby inventor, and I've not seen her for a few years, but she came to me and she said, Patrick, how's your invention going? I said, oh, it's going pretty well. And she said, what are you currently inventing? I said, yeah, no, not really, but I'm very busy with ChatGPT. ChatGPT what, And she said, what is that? Is that like Siri? I said, yeah, it's a little bit like Siri, but it's much better. And then she said, okay, I want to know more about it. But how can I know more about it? I said, I don't know. Just go to this website. And she was like, yeah, but how do you log in? And she was a ICT no sort of. And I was walking home, and I was like, wow, but wouldn't it be great to be the first to have an explanation, a guide, a handbook, a small handbook of ChatGPT in the Netherlands? So be the first one with the Dutch GPT manual. And that's what I created in 24 hours. So I gave myself a goal. And Gerben knows about it because he was involved also. He gave me some advice, some prompts, or whatever. It was new for me too. And within 24 hours, I wrote the book, and I published it via Amazon and so, but also in all of the bookstores in the Netherlands, because I was acquainted with it, because I used to write other books also, so I know the process. And in the 14th of March, exactly at the same date as ChatGPT 4 came out, it was 13 or 14 March, I launched my book. And yeah, it was then it went pretty good.
So it went viral. How did people know about it?
Yes, because I always say that you have to be on a wave. Don't create the wave yourself, but surf the wave. And of course, it was on the journal here, the 8 o'clock journal, the news. And people knew about it, but they were not aware, still not are, by the way, I think, what the real impact is. They know the news, but they saw the news, and I was on a wave, and then I launched it. And I did some press releases, so send emails to journalists, and then it went kind of viral on different news sites. I think Gerben knows it still, that you know on Immerse and so on. I don't know if you know it, but it's popular here. And from that point in time, the book sold, and I got some requests of speaking. And the first times I did it for free, but not anymore. Yeah.
So do you have a copy of the book you can show us
Yeah, sure.
on screen? And is the book in Dutch or in English?
That's my point. It's in Dutch, so it says here 50 times smarter and quicker with ChatGPT, the first Dutch manual of ChatGPT.
If I read the book, what do I get? Like, what do you explain? Like how the
Yes.
technology works? Do you explain how to use it? All of that stuff.
No, it's a very simple book. It's so simple. I think the people you interview, they are much more advanced, but there are a lot of people that don't even know what ChatGPT is. So the manual is really basic, with a really basic prompts, and also how to log in into ChatGPT. And I
Exactly.
can tell you, a lot of smart people, like CEOs, for example, they said to me, they wrote, they read it, and they said to me, "Oh, it was really handy that you put that in, because I didn't know how to log in." So we sometimes think, as ICT guys, we think that everyone can log in and knows everything, but it's start with the basics. So it's really a basic book, but I got a lot of positive responses. For that.
Yeah. What do you think, Gerben, of his book? Did you read it? Did you have any copy of it?
He was so obsessed that period. I thought he could lose his marriage. I thought, because he was really so enthusiastic, and he has a wife. I know her too. And we live in the same village, which is a coincidence. But we have met in that period, and we talked a lot about ChatGPT at that time. And he was just so focused, and as amazingly focused on producing the book. And he was really afraid. I don't know if he will admit it, but he was really afraid he was not the first. So he was really so obsessed to be the first. And he was glad he was the first. There was no one else on that same week publishing that book. And it's also funny today. There's somebody I know. I'm known as an expert in ChatGPT, but the question I get on my phone, we have in Holland WhatsApp a lot. I think in the States also WhatsApp. But somebody says, "Well, is it a web app? Should I download something?" But the main question for smart people is how to log in. And it's amazing. But what is funny thing, I don't know if people really realize that you can ask anything. You can say, "Coach me," or ask me some questions, or make an article. It's so humanized, and I was really enthusiastic about that, because some people learn to program. Maybe you can have learned as a child, if you do this, then do that. So you can program a computer. But now it's like your language is enough, and I think that's gives so much possibilities.
Yeah.
But the book, if it's a good book, is your question. I think it's a structured book about how to begin and how to have some use cases.
The fascinating part is that in just 24 hours,
Yes.
self-publishing on Amazon, have a book ready, send a few emails to journalists, and then see the money just dripping into your account. That's amazing. That's kind of like a dream coming true for a lot of people.
Yes.
And this is a testament about also what you were saying, Gerben, the use cases, right? I meet every day people who have used ChatGPT, but they don't use it in the way I use it. So, as you said, I use it in everything. People have this narrow idea on what to use it for. Like they think, oh, I'm using it only to improve my emails, make my email nicer. There's like infinite possibilities of how you can use this technology. So I'm wondering, Patrick, what is your most frequent use case where you depend on ChatGPT to help with?
I use it all of the day. So throughout the day, and I do the same work, but I'm much more productive in everything. So I write reports, for example, for my clients. This afternoon, I was doing research with Power BI tooling, and if you can do caching or something, it's a little bit technical. But then I ask ChatGPT some things, and it's when you prompt right, it comes out, and I give it to my employees, to my team members, and they say, "Oh, this is good enough." So publish it to the stakeholders. So it's the whole day long. I use it for creativity. So to get names of for a new team member name. I use it to create test data, for example. I use it for naming conventions and how to see how it looks like. If it's something that you can create naming conventions. I use it to analyze. I use it for stock information. It gave me one stock that I bought, and I've got 50% profit
Revenue.
of it already. Yeah, it's crazy, but I know it's not ready yet for that, but I'm sure that it will be. It will change a lot in that area, in the stock market area of people analyzing. They will probably they use it already in some way or another, but it will change. Yeah, so I use it for a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a GPT. I called it Nukud, NUKOOD.com. This is a Nukud in Arabic means money. So I got this domain name. I got this domain name long time ago, and now I linked this domain name to a GPT that I create.
Yes.
Basically, it's very simple. The GPT idea is basically you tell it, okay, what stocks should I buy today? And it will go online. It will look for the news. It will tell you what are the stocks that are, what are the good positive news about a particular company. And it will tell you, oh, well, there are a lot of good news about Apple. Maybe you should buy Apple, right?
Yep.
And then it gives you some signals, right? I'm not a financial advisor and I don't pretend to be. I'm wonder, Gerben, what about your main use cases? Like what are the...
For me as a content creator, it's most easy to use content from other sources. Like you have in YouTube, you have transcripts from video, and there's also a Google Chrome extension to have a button on the transcription of YouTube to just copy a transcription of a video. I don't have to watch the video. I can just ask ChatGPT to summarize the video, and in that way I can just collect some inputs, like some videos. I can collect, maybe I go to Google News, I find some articles, I collect those, and I will put them together, and I say, please ChatGPT, structure this information for me. And after that, I can also say, I have a title. When I've read it, I can say, I have this title. I want to aim for this group of people. Can you generate an article of 1,500 words? And it will be based on all the inputs I've given. But it quickens up my workflow, of course. I can produce content much more easily. And my view on it is that I should add more information to it from myself, from my own expertise, because it should be more authentic. So, but my use case is that you can summarize a lot of things, also reports, or when you have how do you say that, data, you can also say to ChatGPT, analyze this data and give some key points or something. And that's so time saving. It's amazing time saving to do so. So I think it's a little assistant to research for you what's in it or something. So that's the way I use it. Yeah.
And Naja, to add on, the most important use case for me is, of course, this book. I wrote it with ChatGPT in 24 hours. So it's you ask for a content page of produce a content page of a manual, for example, ChatGPT manual. You change something, and the most important process, I think, the most important productivity is because you are so focused in that, for example, 24 hours. You can come up to speed. You don't have switching time. For example, I wrote another book. It took me a year. Every Saturday I was working on it, but then every Saturday I was like, oh, where was I? And then it took me a few hours to come into the book, then a few hours productivity time, and then gone again. And I think when you are with ChatGPT and you are in hyper focus together, you can really do amazing results.
When Deep Blue beat Gary Kasparov back in the, I think, 98 or something.
Yes.
And then from there on, nobody can beat the AI. Nobody can beat the computer. However, if you put a grandmaster with an AI, they can beat another AI and they can beat another grandmaster. So the teamwork between human and AI makes us really a superhuman kind of. So right now, my use case, I'm still working on my thesis for my master's degree, and I am not, my thesis required data analysis from human subjects. So there is a ton of data, numbers, and stuff that I need to crack. Now, I struggle with statistics and statistical analysis, and I don't know a lot about these things. But I am required to make these, the results of my study has to be presented in a proper statistical way. So I'm using ChatGPT to advise me. I cannot let ChatGPT do the analysis because right now in the scientific community, they cannot rely on the output of ChatGPT right now. Although ChatGPT is fully capable, you could just give it the CSV file and it will produce all the analysis for you. However, for my particular research, I cannot do that. So I have to do everything in SPSS. So I'm using ChatGPT, say, hey, this is my data. Tell me what is the test that I should run on SPSS. And it will tell me the test. I was like, okay, guide me step by step how I can perform this test in SPSS. And it is like literally becoming my tutor, my mentor, holding my hand and showing me how to do the work, which makes me feel that in today's day and age, why do we have to go to school and study if we have ChatGPT that can guide us to do all the work we do?
I share the same experience for systems like SPSS or WordPress websites, which are really worldwide systems. There is so much knowledge that you can ask anything, and they, for example, I would normally hire a designer for changing my homepage, but I asked ChatGPT, what should I change in code to make this happen on my homepage? And he just shared the code which I perfectly could use or could test myself. So I was really amazed because I normally should never have learned this JavaScript or HTML. I would not do for myself. So I think, wow, so I can step beyond myself. So I believe for common systems, you're right that that you have a tutor in ChatGPT because it's general knowledge, but it's also existing because we have internet. If internet is diminished, if you don't have web pages, ChatGPT cannot read anything.
I want to elaborate on the chess playing guy with AI. That I think that we will see that more and more. For example, a teacher that has some virtual assistants of himself. The schools in the Netherlands, they are fully booked. So like 30, 40 people in the class. And I think that we need help from such kind of tool to do that. And I have done it already myself. I went to a bank and I coached people in how to win, how to develop their CV and get salary increase, whatever. And I uploaded my book into ChatGPT, and from there on, I said, ask them the questions, and I was there. But I coached 10 people at the same time by walking around. I didn't have to do anything myself, but I need to control a little bit because maybe it did a hallucination or whatever. But I was really productive that afternoon. And normally you would do a one-to-one coaching with questions and answers, but in that time I could do 10 at the same time. So I think that will become pretty normal in a few years, maybe even 1 or 2 years time. I think, yeah.
I know that you have done something quite incredible with the bookstore. You were so excited about ChatGPT that you had to go to the bookstore and sit there and just meet random people to teach them about that. Tell me more about this.
Yes. When I wrote the book, I needed to be the first one. I thought that was my goal. And after I published the book, I needed to sell it, of course, also. But I also wanted to have experience, not only my own experience, but also from other people. So I went to the local bookstore here and I said, "Yeah, I've got my book here. And can I sit here and interview people and let them be acquainted with ChatGPT?" And I have met professors, drummers, builders, archaeologists. Like you see everyone in the bookstore, of course. And Gerben, you visited me at that time, and
Yeah, to make some pictures for your
yes,
promotion
yes, you did.
because he forgets. Yeah.
And you see all of those different use cases I would never have been thinking about. But I was, for example, with a professor. He's a professor. I won't tell it, but in a certain area, it's very specialistic. And I wrote a report for him, and he said, that's exactly my topic, and he's correct. He's correct, but it's not special. And then I said to him, I said, yeah, but imagine yourself, you would be invited on a school, not elementary school, and you have to give a presentation there. And I said, change this. What Gerben just said, I said, change this in child's language and give the presentation there. And it was done immediately. And he was like, wow, but this would have cost me like 2 or 3 days because I have to think like a child. And I'm here, I'm a professor, and then I have to. And now, wow, this is really great. So it's not really his knowledge, but the perspective changes. And that's sometimes difficult, also, especially for specialists. And for example, for a doctor, of course, I'm not sure if you should use ChatGPT as a doctor, but to explain it, so the doctor explains it technically to ChatGPT, and it is translated in simple language to the patient. I think it will be of great value in the future. Yeah.
So, when it comes to you and to both of you, but for you, Gerben, right now, how do you see we can make money from ChatGPT? I mean, or AI in general. I know that Patrick made his book, and probably because he was the first to launch a book about this in the Netherlands, and he had contacted all these journalists who were literally propelled him. But in terms of like making a business, a real business using these technologies, how do you see it taking shape and taking place?
Well, I think nowadays or the past months, training has been a good thing to do. Like Patrick did, you've trained some people, you've spoken to SEO or CAOs about this new trend. I'm not sure. I find it very difficult to know what happens, but I have seen examples before. For I think the next 2 years, for example, when you have to make a PowerPoint, Patrick, like you said, you have a tutor of your own information. You can also put your information in a plugin of ChatGPT, and it will make a PowerPoint with appropriate images, appropriate titles, etc. So that kind of work will be very easy. But the problem with making money is if everybody can do it so easily, will you be hired? For example, I've also this thought. When first Google came, maybe you should have to learn how to Google things for yourself. But now nobody offers a course how to Google things, because everybody knows maybe in 3-word phrases, 4-word phrases, or maybe and or or finding extensions PDF. People know all those things. So there's no business learning people how to Google. So I think, is there a business to learn people how to use ChatGPT? But I think many people who are not so technically will not know how to put things in ChatGPT. So, for example, you have also a plugin to make websites instantly or to make articles instantly. So there could be a moderator for me, a person who can be hired to do those things for you, like a desk research, but not sure if people will pay for this. But in the end, if it's so easily as it is, people can grow into it. And if education will explain to people how to use ChatGPT, could it be normalized like Google? I know that's the difficulty, that I don't know if it will be normalized or will be stay specialized, because nowadays some people know about it and some people are very enthusiastic, but there are people are technically oriented, like marketeers or developers. Some people like that can use it often.
What I see right now, I'm also kind of innovator, a hobby innovator. It worked. So I sold a small company which called the Burgel blocker, the cheapest window lock in the Netherlands. It was,
Yeah.
but yeah, I see there's a lot. There are a lot of opportunities. It's very difficult for me to see how to really make money. But if I talk to CEOs, for example, they know, of course, about AI, and they saw the news, but they don't really know the impact currently. They haven't used it themselves. A lot of the time, you've been with with one of my presentations, Gerben, and I asked them how much did you use it? Very little. So I see there are a lot of opportunities, and I think that the companies which will use currently AI in their business model and be the first, they will make a big step. And for example, for guys like us, we can advise them in that. But I think I'm really figuring it out myself. But I think what we can do is, if we, for example, produce nice products with AI, I think people will pay for that, because then they have the end product, and they don't have to use it, because the end product is most of the time what people like to buy. So if we can become more productive, I think this will be and produce end products for users to buy. So, for example, reports or whatever, or customized reports. I think they will buy it, because and then afterwards they will say, "Yeah, I'm going to do it myself," but then it seems more difficult to
Yeah, I think indeed that with AI you can guide people. For example, there is a small website, you want to have a good CV, for example. You have to fill in the blanks. It will be a perfect CV. You can choose the style of the CV, and then it will be written very perfectly by ChatGPT, and it's all done. And you have to the person who wants to get rich, for example, makes these steps. So it's like your website, Naja, when people ask 3 questions about where to put money in, then they have 3 questions, and they fill some data from themselves, and then they have 3 advices, for example. So realistic advices for something that could make some money, I think. Yeah.
Right now, I don't think that, my GPTs, I have many of them, because
Yes,
it's so easy to create. So you can create any of them, and a lot of them I use them only for myself. But my main use case, and I want to take your opinion, both of you are, like Patrick, you're in ICT, Gerben, you are an SEO and content creator. So I thought really hard about the implications of this technology on businesses. Okay. And I feel that right now, because we figured language out, now the websites of the internet are all done using the graphical user interface, which means that they are point and click, point and click. And in my head, I was like, you don't need point and click anymore. You can speak to the website directly, right?
Sure.
So I created a system that allows my clients to convert their website from graphical user interface into a conversational user interface. I'm gonna show you what I mean with this video, and I would like to take your opinion whether you think this is a good business case or not. Okay, let me show this video, and then we can talk after.
At Parrots Lab, we craft these digital facades to not just catch the eye, but to start a conversation, to invite the world into your story. In the AI era, users don't need to browse your website, they can converse with it. The homepage emerges as a canvas of clarity, a menu simplified, and a call to action that encourages engagement.
I'm your guide, your first handshake, the beginning of a bond. Tell me, what are you looking for today?
Besides our AI companion, a video introduces your brand, enhancing the dialogue already in motion. Every visit is an opportunity for a deeper connection. The footer anchors the homepage, where interests turn into subscriptions and connections span networks. And when curiosity is kindled, the Discover section awaits. Here, stories await your audience, offering glimpses into your brand's heartbeat, each an invitation to learn more. At Parrots Lab, we're on a mission to build the next generation of conversational brands. Companion brands brought to life with AI-powered agents that boost your customer experience and amplify your brand influence. Book your demo today.
That looks good. Looks very fantastic. Yeah.
Do you think this would be the future of websites?
Yeah, I think a step before, I think nowadays you should have it as a pop-up. You can choose to read, or you can, because people have websites right now, so you can add a function like maybe a website plugin to make this happen, what you have just shown to us, that it happens, so you can have a choose between old-fashioned reading or just interacting right now, like a WhatsApp icon or just a window extra to you to do this, but could also be the whole site. What you suggest is the whole site. For example, a therapist, for example, could ask some people, what would you advise me? And people can say, well, I'm anxious. So should I go to you or not? And then they have the whole intake, for example, and they can say in the end, yes, you are suitable for me as a client. So it's a chatbot, sort of, but well, really pretty designed.
For me, Naja, I think you have a very nice, tremendous case. I think that for example, that conversational AI or such a chatbot, we wanted it in the past also. We have it already at the energy company. Only they don't work. You ask something and you get the wrong answer, and you're like, I want to speak to a real person, you know. Because it was already there. It only the non-functionals, it didn't work, and I think now it will work. So it's a very strong use case, I think. Yeah, and I, for example, use sometimes I go for a walk, and I use ChatGPT, the conversational function, and I put things in my ears like you have, headphones, and I'm just talking with him, with him, her, I don't know, and she's them, yeah, them. It's definitely them. But I talk to them, and then it advises me. You know, I was buying an electrical car, but I didn't know what brand I wanted, so I was like, which electric car is the most open source that I can do things myself. And then he advised me on look at electric cars with the highest communities, with the most communities, and it really, guided me. And yesterday I bought an electric car, so yeah.
Congratulations! Well, yay!
It's because of your book.
How much do you like it?
Yes, it's not arrived yet, so
okay.
Because of 2 weeks, yeah. But I think this will definitely change, and Normally you have to have a keyboard to put things in, but now you put things in your ear and you go for a walk, and you be healthy and work even. Yeah.
I want to thank both of you for your time and for being on my podcast. I know it's late in the Netherlands, like around 8-9 p.m. So I really appreciate both of your time, and I look forward to chatting again.
Well,
We keep in contact.
it
Yeah,
would be
sure.
great. It was nice talking, Naja. Thank you.
Thank you both.